Yo, 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 everybody, it's Narcoleptic Cheetah, and we're in another episode of Factorio. So, where we last left off, I was really kind of confused about what to do next. But I think I do know what I want to do, and that is, I want to tear most of this out. While this is somewhat useful, I guess, ish, it is not what it needs to be. This is so inefficient. Basically what I wound up doing is I looked online for some nuclear power setups. I wound up finding this great YouTuber by the name of Catherine of Sky, and she has some great almost tutorial type episodes of Factorio. And I bring that up because I don't want this to be like, oh, I had an epiphany and I did this all by myself. So no, I subscribe to her channel and I've been watching through a series where she takes an entry-level base to a mega-level base. Some really key differences there. She did like a huge map, and then she also did like huge amount of resources, which we do not have. And she also turned BITERS into like, she disabled their ability to spread. So I just want to bring up like some key differences and what we're going to be doing different, but I think it's still going to be possible. What I realize is that there are different biomes. Again, stuff I'm not really realizing until after the fact. There are different biomes. We're stuck in a freaking desert. As far as I can tell, like all this is a desert, and apparently pollution spreads really, really quickly in a desert versus, say, like this should be like a forest type biome, and it spreads less quickly here. So we might want to look at branching out and just exploring a bit. I don't entirely know how we're going to do this. The desert seems to continue up here. I do want to get rid of some of these guys, but it does seem like in terms of exploration that we want to go this way. There's a fairly big uranium patch there, some good iron sources there. By the way, for comparison's sake, her iron patches are like 17 million. Like, my biggest one is 5.2. I just want to point that out. Like, so I think I'm picking up some pretty good tips and tricks from her series that we'll be including on this one. And again, I just kind of want to give a shout out to her, so I'm like not just coming up with some of this stuff on my own. But the first big thing is we're going to tear out most of this and our labs. And I know that seems kind of insane, but I really got some insight on like how we should set this up, and it's mostly with conveyors and such as that. So actually, if we look at this, we're not producing that many conveyors, and this proportion system is all wrong. Basically, what you need to do it by is, like, if we go into our screen here, what we need to do is, like, transport belts are produced 2 in half a second. So if we wanted to do, like, it'd be 1 in a quarter of a second, or 4 in 1 second, right? So, and then we would have to go to iron gear wheels, and this is just an example. So 1 iron gear wheel. So instead of just 1 wheel, this one is half a second, so it's a 1-to-1 proportion. But it requires 2 iron plates, so it'll need an iron plate every quarter of a second type of deal. And then what's really key is that these belts transmit items at a certain rate, so you need a certain amount of ore going through a certain amount of ore processing in order to hit these rates. And it actually is a lot more math than I thought. I knew it was a lot of math, but it's a lot more math if you want to get really efficient with it. And I like making things really efficient. So that's something we're going to get into. But the first thing is that we need to tear out probably 90% of this. I don't really want to be making just boodles of stuff. I might continue with, I don't even know, like, do I want robots to be made still? Kind of. I don't really need turrets to be made. Piercing rounds I don't really, I mean, I kind of need, but I don't need like 2 machines making it. I'll probably keep, like I said, some of the system in place, but I don't need like the crazy amounts of the copper cables. It's just insane. Like, I have all of these, and copper cables are made, let's see, 2 copper cables are made with 1 copper plate in half a second, right? By comparison, that's not a good comparison. So, well, this is made in half a second, makes 2 copper cables. This one needs 3 copper cables and also is made in half a second. So really, the way this math works out is that you would need 1.5 of these assembly machines to match 1 of these electronic circuits. And obviously you can't cut a assembly machine in half, so you would really want twice as much, right? So you would want 3 copper cables and 2 electronic circuits per 2 electronic circuits. So it's not, I don't think it's as bad as I was making it out to be, or maybe it's twice as bad. I don't know. But yeah, we'll make some of this stuff automatically while I'm going out and exterminating bugs. For example, some of the things that we need going forward are, we'll need the advanced circuits, of course, but we'll also need, let's see, what we're really going to need is the poles, like, right? These guys, the electric poles, like the big electric poles and the medium electric poles, because we're going to leave it all out there in order to like stop the bugs from spreading. And again, it's a theory. I'm not totally sold on it, but it's a theory that seems to hold some weight, that the bugs can't build their nests within a certain radius of, say, our walls. And I'm thinking, actually, so where's that stupid nest? So this guy to this wall is pretty short, but there's actually another one I noticed on one of my other videos. And I think it's this guy. Oh yeah, like right here. No, that's not a nest. This is a nest, right? So, or a colony. So like this distance from here to here is probably like as close as they can build their nests. But so I mean that's a fair amount, right? That's, I don't know how many blocks, but or how many units that away that is. But that's probably as close as they can get. So if I can space my my lines out just right, then maybe I can prevent them from coming back at all, kind of a deal. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm also hoping that these guys have to be a certain radius themselves, so I can like spread out a little bit. Oh, here goes like those guys. They're gonna attack, but that's okay because I have bots that are going to save the day. So leave the bots in place. I think if I remember right, I'm right at the cap of what my machines can produce. That's kind of why we are going to. Oh, I'm back into normal mode, but that's why I'm going to just take out like most of these things. Plus, they're taking up resources that I don't need them to take up and all that stuff. But yeah, so we're going to take out the science machines. All of them, including this gold one, even though I'm a little reluctant to do that. So we can later on create some really nice, what she calls malls, but basically they're a one-stop shop for all the materials that you need. So we'll tear that out, and we'll get other things pretty soon. Also, she used grenades to clear out trees early game. That was really smart. And you can like copy and paste settings on things, which would have been so nice to know when I was doing that with these things. With a requester chest, you can do that. You can like copy a setting and then copy it over to another. Like if I, for example, if I were to say get rid of these, right? I can control right click there. Whoops. And then shift and then control left click. Nope. Something like that. It's shift right click maybe, and shift left click. Shift right click, shift left click. I don't know. It's something like that. Oh yeah. So they copied the shift right click. So like if I clear this again, if I shift right click this and then shift left click this, I go in and it's set. So that would have been really nice because then I don't have to do it. Also, you notice when I control right click, I pick up half the stack that's in there. Or if I control left click, I pull up the whole thing. And I can also, let's see, I can also put things. I'm not sure how. Is it just left click? Nope. Is it right click? Nope. But I can also replace items doing the same kind of thing. And we got broken somehow. Yo, that's super bad actually. And oh god, time to run. Crap. Let's use our paths here. She also used something else. Like her paths looked a lot different, but she was also playing on an earlier version of the game, so that might be a thing. Anyway, crap. If the bugs are in, then they're going to destroy stuff pretty immediately. So I'm gonna hold down left or my space bar. Let's just run along the path. Where are they? That's a useless machine. Well, they already repaired that, but I saw one get in. Uh-oh. It's possible that it got destroyed. Here, give me this deconstructor. I don't need that. Yeah, it already replaced that guy, so it's possible that the bug's not going to destroy everything with both ways. Here we are. I don't know what. Okay. So this is why I need to just. Yo, oh, you're trying to bring stuff to me. How nice. Anyway, we are going to hopefully. Crap. Okay, I'm always nervous about crossing the train tracks. Okay, it's killing things. I just heard thunder. Alright, anyway, this has been a pretty long clip. Like I said, I'm going to tear a bunch of stuff out, and I will be back with you guys in just a bit. Okay, guys, I did a little bit of research on the biter thing, and my theory was a little bit right, although this is disconcerting. Apparently, these biters can't respawn or spawn new nests within 3 chunks of your buildings. I don't know what a chunk is, but apparently if we hit F4, we bring up this guy, and okay, we go to this always tab, show, now I forgot what it's called, dang it, it shows something, it's like enemy expand chunks. Whoa! Okay, so hit F4 again, then hit F5. No, that was awful. So the green ones are where they can expand to, and what you do is you go to these green ones and you plop down like little, like transport belts, chests, power poles, like I was thinking. You can do that. Now that's really interesting that, like, they can spawn here, but there's a power pole, like, right there. Or, like, this one is orange, not red, but there's a power pole there. That's really bizarre. I wonder if they have changed, because this is written back in 2016. I wonder if they changed that behavior a little bit. Most of these are red, from what I can tell, because they already have things there. So, like, right here, I would probably want to go through and put down poles. And, like, see here, there's a pole here and a pole here, but something there. That reminds me. But, see, like, there's poles there, and then there's enemies that spawned right there. This might be old information. I'm going to do a little more research, try to figure out where they can spawn. I guess the other option is that green means they can't spawn there. That would really suck. But I don't think so, because there's red all up in my base, right? I think this is spawn, and then the rest they can spawn in. Like, this was my spawn originally, so they couldn't spawn there at all. Okay. Let me read this form really quickly again. So it's common to use transport belts as victory poles to prevent aliens from spawning new bases closer to you. Okay, let's try something. I want to go, like, here. Like, that's a good candidate, right? I want to go here and plop down, like, a chest or something and see what happens. So right now I have some poles on me. I don't have chests. Also, learned... here, I'm just going to grab... I'm just going to go into it and grab, like, one. Here. Okay, guess I'm going to grab 4. Just for a chest, and then, tell you what, I'm just going to request some transport belts, and see if they'll go and get it. How many of these do I have now? 191, that's nice. What is the limit? Oh, okay. Nothing. Oh, here they come, with my transport belts. Okay, cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do is unrequest that. And we're going to go down. I'm going to leave these circles here on for a little bit. Just so we can see exactly where it is that we want to place those things. And I want to do this with you on camera because I really want to see what happens. And I want you to be able to see what happens. Okay, so we are going this way. Oh, also with the sidewalks and stuff, you can apparently adjust the size. Okay, I'm running down. Oh, I could have used this thing. Ugh. Running through sand is such a pain. Also, did I already tell you guys that the desert is like the worst place to spawn? That was a wonderful revelation to have. Let's wander down here. Really don't want to, like, run into any biters. Now, are you kidding me? These trees are so thick. Okay, I think I have a path through here. Woo-wee! Look at that guy. Look at him run. Okay, can I not get myself killed? Okay, what I want to do is put down that. And I want to see what happens to that thing. Ugh, okay, grenades. God, where am I? Stupid trees. Okay. So that didn't seem to affect anything. Put one down one transport belt, didn't seem to affect anything. That's not good. Okay, I'm gonna do a little more research and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so after a little more research, I did find that basically the pole method, the placing down these poles only kind of works. The green does mean it's a high chance that they'll relocate there. The red means that they won't relocate there. I just destroyed a nest to test it out. I destroyed one right here, which is why we have this zigzag. It was pretty green, even with the zigzag of power poles. But then I just ran tracks. You can't see them. But I ran tracks from here to here and here to here, and it actually turned those. Actually, they're really dark orange. They're not quite red, but that means that they would be less likely to spawn there. And I'm thinking maybe if I do that all around, because when I destroy one, it turns green, basically. And you can see, basically, outside their own nest, it's all red, right? So my thinking is create a lot of buildings, and then potentially they won't attack it. I'm hoping that's the deal, and if it is, then we're good. We're pretty good to go. Like, I think they won't attack the tracks if I get out of this. Oh, I'm not in there anymore. But yeah, I just put down a bunch of conveyor belts, and that was it. I might have to find something cheaper than conveyor belts. Like right now, conveyors cost iron. Well, it'd probably be yellow ones from now on, but one steel, one iron gear wheel, so it costs 3 iron. What does this cost? Half iron, but 1 steel and 1 stone. I'm just looking for something cheap, basically. A bunch of wooden chests, maybe. I do have a lot of wood in the system from destroying all these forests, so I mean that could be a possibility. Just place down a bunch of chests, a bunch of wooden chests, and maybe that would keep them. And I don't think the biters will attack those, at least not initially. So that's the thing. I was also looking up how to increase our power production, and it actually looks like solar panels might be, but you have to do like crazy solar arrays, and like by crazy you have like a 4x4 of so like this would be a 4x4 of the substations here, 1 2 3 4 by 1 2 3 4, so that would be one array, and you have to have like 20 or 30 arrays to get a good amount of power. I don't know how many solar arrays one takes. Like, I did figure out like 100 solar panels would be like I think 6 megawatts, which if we look over here, I think these are 900 megawatts. So like, you know, it's not good, it's not bad. Solar arrays also include accumulators. I think it would reduce my reliance on these, on the solid fuel. Although right now I'm doing pretty good on solid fuel. Yeah, like Jesus. In fact, I'm doing really good on solid fuel. Alright, so maybe we can live on this for a while longer, until we can expand our base. So, I mean, we have a lot of open area where we could build solar arrays. Like, this could all be solar arrays through here. And they also wind up centered around roboports, so that totally works. I think the roboport would wind up being in the center of the 16 of those. So not bad. Just kind of curious about how things would work out in that case, but I mean, we have a lot of area where we could build some anyway. Not 20 or 30, but we might be able to build 5 or 6. 5 or 6 would be the equivalent of... Well, 5 would be 30 megawatts, which gets pretty close to these guys. Now, it takes up a lot more space, but I don't... Again, it's infinite power. We wouldn't have to worry about power ever again. In fact, we could delete this, and this could become another one. So that's a thing. We could definitely do that. And, yeah, I mean, it might be something we think about doing. For a future episode. Building some solar arrays. I'll have to get rid of some of these cliffs, but that'll be okay. Forget I can't zoom out like that. Yeah, so we got some copper there. We still have all this iron here. I did see a few tricks about how to like double up these lines. They're called balancers. So we might do some of that so we can get good throughput of those things. And then we can put some more up here. Yeah, I mean, I think we're okay. I was just getting super frustrated. I'm actually going to turn this off now. F4. So it's way down here. And we'll turn that off just because it's annoying. And I'll hit F4 again to get rid of that. But I think we can get rid of the biters. That's my big deal. Like, we got to get rid of the biters, and then we can build defenses. Like, we can build a bigger wall around this factory. So, like, this is actually, I looked, again, kind of was looking online, this is actually a small factory. So we could build a wall, like, around this. If we could do that, that would be a big factory, and we'd have access to all this iron and stone and coal and more iron. Even some uranium patches, more coal, stone, more oil. So, I mean, and there's a lot of iron and stone down here. So I think the first mission will be expand this way and then do this method with the tracks. You don't need a lot, but you need a fair amount. Do the method with the tracks and looking at the circles in order to figure out like if they can expand there. Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be good. We have, again, some uranium patches for nuclear power if we want it. According to a lot of people, the solar arrays are actually the way to go because they're cleaner energy, and at a certain point, you don't need the nuclear power unless you have a super mega base. Which, I don't know, like, if we could wall that in, like this, where we can, like the distance we can see right now, I think that would be qualification of a mega base. I don't know. We're going to have to look at it and kind of figure things out. But right now, I do believe that's what we're going to head towards. And actually, I think this is the end of the episode. So if you guys liked it, please leave a like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I will see you guys in the next episode.